Alright, what's going on everybody? This is Craig here, back for another Pokemon Showdown session. I recorded one last week, but it was kind of ragey and a lot of bad plays, so I was like, no, nobody wants to see that. So I was like, I'll come back and do another one with some similar things, some not so similar things. So starting off here, we got Leafeon, Chlorophyll, Choice Band, Leaf Blade, Aerial Ace, Knockoff, Return. I'm finding myself pretty much just using knockoff because of the Pokemon that people seem to run. It's like Slowbro, Tangrowth, Latias, sorry. So, kind of bulky things. You're like, I want to get rid of that leftovers, get rid of that Assault Vest. Then when the game's normally over by the time I get to switch this back in and actually do something else, it's like pretty much either I'm going to win with something else or I'm going to, switch this in and die anyway. So, yeah, expect a lot of knockoffs. And also, with the sort of setup I've got, I would normally run X-Scissor, but Knockoff is better because it hits Psychic types and Ghost types, knocks off the item, and then if, they want to send in a Grass Pokemon, then I've got Aerial Ace for that, and then Aerial Ace also hits things like Chestnut and Hitmonlee and whatever else fighting types, so kind of decent coverage there. I'm really surprised that Leafeon is NU because it's fucking awesome. Next here we've got Defensive Cobalion, just because why not? This is also in NU at the moment. Although I think was it in UU last gen? I don't know, but Cobalion is fantastic. Stealth Rock, Raw, Sacred Sword, and Iron Head just for stab. Hitting fairies is very good, and then this is for pretty much mainly reserved for hitting Chansey and that, even though like I'm not running into things that I sort of prepared for at the moment. So that's kind of annoying. I would put Close Combat on, but it seems kind of, obviously the damage is good, but it seems kind of pointless to have a defensive Pokemon and then have something lower in your defense, and that kind of annoying. Next we've got Houndoom, which was the sort of MVP in that last session that I was just on about. It's so good. I was mentioning this, it gets decent defenses when, obviously like its special defense isn't awful at the moment, but it gets decent boost to like its normal defense when it goes to Mega. And with the Flash Fire ability, like I'm finding that a lot of people will switch in Chandelure to deal with Leafeon and Cobalion. So they'll go for the Fire Blast, Overheat, what have you, and then you switch this in, get the Flash Fire boost, Mega Evolve, and then Flamethrower is going to be doing a fuckload of damage, especially if you can get a nasty plot off. And I've decided not to go with the the sort of Sunny Day Solar Beam thing. For one, just variety, and two, the Solar Power boost is obviously nice, but it does whittle away at Houndoom quite a lot, especially since the first turn you do it, you get up to Sunny Day, and then you take damage without being able to get a hit off, and that I didn't really want anything else to be running Sunny Day. Like I was thinking, something else could run it for this, but then I was like, it's not really too important. I'd rather have like a coverage move on something else, so yeah, that's why that's there. Next we got Specially Defensive, I was going to say, what the hell is this thing called there? Dragalge, the name's right there. Got Black Sludge just for trick and, recovery. Poison Point because adaptability isn't released and then I don't have any contact moves, so Poison Point's the best ability. Sludge Bomb over Sludge Wave just for the extra chance of poisoning because you only get 5% more damage, and this is mainly, for, sort of bulky, annoying walls that like to keep heal belling and stuff like that. It's an extra turn where they have to do something, I can get a free switch, so it's less about the damage and more about them burning a turn on that, which is the same reason I've got Scald here. I was also running Thunderbolt here earlier, but then when I switched in Jolteon, I switched this for Scald because I don't have another water move on this team, so that's why that's there. Having Dragon Pulse is nice for stab, but having the ability to hit things super effectively, or more things super effectively with Scald, is the reason why that's there. And then we got Rest, Sleep, Talk, just because this thing works pretty well with that, and also the fact that it can't get poisoned is nice, and burns don't really do much to it, so you can let the burn damage rack up a bit, sort of look like you're about to die, and then get a rest in and back up to full health. And this thing has its health isn't great. You know, it's not terrible, but it's really bulky, especially on the specially defensive side. It's also very slow as well, so you know, some teams, I've been running into a couple of trick room teams recently, and this thing kind of catches them off guard because, you know, it's a lot slower than some of the things they're running. Next we've got this thing, which is absolutely terrifying. Choice Scarf Hydreigon with U-Turn, Flamethrower, Superpower and Outrage. Mix attacker, Flamethrower's there because the fire moves it get, I think it gets Fire Fang, which isn't really that good. Flamethrower with the sort of base, I mean its base special attack uninvested is almost as good as its invested physical attack, and yeah, this thing is just great. I was using Flygon instead, and then I had a look at the stats, and Flygon has worse stats in everything except 2 points in speed, and it also gets Fire Punch instead of Fire Fang, so it doesn't really have much more offer. This thing has much better special attack, slightly better attack, so you know you can run a mixed set. It has better defensives, better HP. It's just a much better option. There's not really any point running Flygon over it unless you want that sort of the ground moves, stab and whatnot. But this thing does learn, I think it learns Earthquake and Earth Power if I just have a quick look. Yeah, it learns pretty much the same move, so I would go with Hydreigon over Flygon pretty much every time. It also doesn't have the quad weakness to Ice as well, which is good. And then here we've got Choice Specs Jolteon, just because I wanted I wanted a Thunder Pokemon. I wanted an Electric Pokemon there. Hidden Power Ice, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Volt Switch. This is kind of coverage move, but you know, it's mainly the sort of Volt Switching and the Hidden Power Ice that's going to be hitting things. Specs, just because Jolteon is really quick naturally. Got decent base special defense, which is nice as well. So yeah, it's obviously a really good Pokemon. Was in OU last generation, and yeah, I might switch the item on that